I never believed in ghosts. Never saw one, never felt a presence, never had a reason to even consider the possibility. That's why, when my wife, Sarah, inherited her great-aunt Mildred's house in the middle of nowhere, I wasn't worried about creaky floorboards or things that go bump in the night. I was worried about the leaky roof, the peeling paint, and the sheer, unadulterated isolation. Hemlock Lane, they called it. A narrow, overgrown track that snaked its way through dense woods, finally spitting you out in front of a dilapidated Victorian that looked like it hadn't seen a paintbrush in 50 years. Mildred had been a recluse, a woman shrouded in local rumors and whispered stories. The kind of person who kept to herself so intensely, people started filling in the gaps with their own imaginations. Sarah, though, saw opportunity. A chance to escape the city, a project, a fresh start. I loved her, so I went along with it, trading in my comfortable corporate life for a hammer, a saw, and the gnawing feeling that something wasn't quite right about this place. The house was a museum of forgotten things. Mildred hadn't thrown anything away, it seemed. Dusty furniture draped in white sheets, stacks of yellowed newspapers reaching the ceiling, shelves crammed with porcelain dolls that stared blankly into space. As we started clearing it out, a strange pattern emerged. Every room had a single object that felt off. In the living room, it was a child's rocking horse, its paint chipped and faded, but its glass eyes somehow too bright, too knowing. In the dining room, a silver serving tray tarnished black, emanating a faint, metallic odor that clung to the back of your throat. Upstairs, in what had been Mildred's bedroom, a music box that played a discordant melody, its gears grinding like bone on bone. I tried to chalk it up to my own unease, the psychological weight of being surrounded by a lifetime of someone else's possessions. But Sarah felt it too. She started having nightmares, vivid and unsettling, filled with whispers and shadows. She became withdrawn, spending hours poring over old photographs we found tucked away in a trunk. Pictures of Mildred as a young woman, vibrant and smiling, a stark contrast to the gaunt, solitary figure I'd seen only once, years ago, at a family funeral. One day, Sarah found a hidden compartment behind a bookshelf in the library. Inside, a leather-bound journal, its pages filled with Mildred's spidery handwriting. The early entries were mundane, details of daily life, but as I flipped through the brittle pages, the tone shifted. Mildred wrote about a growing sense of dread, of feeling watched, of hearing voices in the empty house. She described rituals she was performing, strange incantations and offerings, desperate attempts to ward off something she couldn't name. The journal became an obsession for Sarah. She devoured its contents, scribbling notes, trying to decipher the cryptic symbols and phrases. I tried to dissuade her, telling her it was just the ramblings of a lonely old woman, but she wouldn't listen. She was convinced Mildred had discovered something important, something that was still lurking in the house. That's when things started to escalate. The noises began, subtle at first, a scratching in the walls, a whisper of wind through closed windows, the faint echo of footsteps on the stairs. Then, the objects started moving. A book falling from a shelf, a door creaking open, a porcelain doll shifting its gaze. I caught Sarah one night in the basement, chanting in front of an old stone well that I hadn't even noticed before. She was holding the silver serving tray from the dining room, her eyes glazed over, her voice a hollow drone. "Sarah, what are you doing?" I asked, my voice trembling. She didn't respond. She just kept chanting, her words growing louder, more frantic. I grabbed her arm, trying to pull her away. She turned to me, her eyes wide and vacant, and said, in a voice that wasn't her own, "She wants to be free." I didn't know who she was, but I knew I had to get Sarah out of that house. I dragged her upstairs, ignoring her struggles and her chilling, inhuman voice. I packed our bags, threw them in the car, and started the engine. As we drove away, I looked back at the house. In the upstairs window, I saw a figure standing, silhouetted against the darkness. It was Mildred, but not the Mildred I remembered. This Mildred was younger, more vibrant, but her eyes were filled with an unholy light. She raised her hand in a silent farewell, and a chilling smile spread across her face. We didn't stop driving until we reached the city. I booked us into a hotel, and we stayed there for a week, trying to recover from what we had experienced. Sarah slowly started to return to normal, the vacant look in her eyes fading, the chilling voice disappearing. But the house stayed with us. In our dreams, in our thoughts, in the constant, nagging feeling that we had left something behind. I tried to forget about it, to move on, but I couldn't. I kept thinking about the journal, about the rituals, about the thing that Mildred had been trying to keep locked away. I knew I had to go back. Sarah begged me not to, pleaded with me to leave it alone, but I wouldn't listen. I told her I needed closure, that I needed to understand what had happened. I drove back to Hemlock Lane alone. The house was exactly as we had left it, the door ajar, the air thick with dust and the stench of decay. I walked through the rooms, the silence broken only by the creaking of the floorboards. I went down to the basement, to the stone well. It was cold and damp, the air heavy with a sense of ancient dread. I peered into the well, but it was too dark to see anything. Then, I heard a voice. "Hello," it whispered, soft and sweet. I jumped back, startled. "Who's there?" "Down here," the voice replied. "Come closer." I hesitated, but curiosity, that fatal flaw, got the better of me. I knelt down and looked into the well again. This time, I saw something. A face, pale and luminous, staring back at me. "Who are you?" I asked, my voice trembling. "I am what Mildred tried to contain," the face said. "I am what she locked away." "What are you?" The face smiled. "I am freedom." And then, it reached out and grabbed me. I woke up hours later, lying on the cold stone floor. The well was empty. The house was silent. I felt different, changed somehow. Lighter, freer. I walked out of the house, leaving the door open behind me. I walked down Hemlock Lane, back to the road, back to the world. I didn't go back to Sarah. I didn't go back to my old life. I had a new purpose now, a new mission. I had to spread the freedom. I started small, whispering in people's ears, planting seeds of discontent, encouraging them to break free from their constraints, to embrace their desires. It worked. People listened. They changed. They became like me. The movement grew, spreading like wildfire. People abandoned their jobs, their families, their responsibilities. They embraced chaos, they reveled in anarchy. The world descended into madness. And I watched it all, with a chilling smile on my face. Mildred tried to contain it, to protect the world from its influence. But she failed. And now, the freedom is spreading. And there's nothing anyone can do to stop it.